What's good, everybody? How are we doing? We're doing something a little bit different. We're doing a little bit of a test. Doing this portrait mode thing. It's kind of weird, kind of fun, kind of weird. I don't know. But I just wanted to touch back in because obviously y'all haven't noticed I've been gone for a little bit. And, I'm not, I know that there's content creators out there that never miss, but they also never have shit happen to them normally. And we all go through things, so I wanted to have a conversation about it. Because I've had some interesting revelations after spending 2 weeks on the couch. Long story short, I ruptured my Achilles. I was dancing. I planted. Apparently, my body has turned into Bo Jackson. I'm too strong for my tendons, or I am overexerting them and not realizing it. And that's one of the issues of having a high pain tolerance is you hurt yourself. And what's going on? Shout out to Spaces. Shout out to the brother Ricky Williams. Kevin in the building. I appreciate you guys. Ricky Williams said, "You getting old." That's what they keep telling me, but I think it's the amount of time that I spend standing. Because when I did it, we were knee deep in rough-in season. I've been training, running circles around people half my age, showing them the ropes, showing them that there's no excuse for not getting stuff done in an expedient fashion. And on top of that, training 6 to 10 hours a week, and then dancing an additional 2 to 3 hours a week. All on my feet, all manual labor, all the time. I mean, I don't think it's that I'm getting old. I mean, my body's getting old for me, but it's circles around most average people. But yeah, so I ruptured it at the club, then walked 2 blocks on it with no control over my foot to my car, and then drove my car home with my driving foot, and then I never got my insurance card. Like, I lose stuff all the time, so I lost my insurance card, so I didn't know which insurance I had, so I had to figure that out. Then I took a nap. Then I went to the urgent care in the morning. And then after that, found out it was ruptured. I had zero control over the foot. Like, I couldn't move my foot at all of my own volition. I could like barely wiggle my toes. Like, all control of it was gone. It was a bad deal. Like, it completely separated. Like, if you ran your finger down where your Achilles tendon goes on mine, there was a pocket of mush where it just completely separated and there was nothing going on in there, and it just hurt real bad. So fast forward, we'll get to the blessings of this. Obviously, I've had my surgery already. So I had my Achilles tear on. Hold on, let me pull up my calendar, the trusty old calendar here. We pulled what's going on, Dr. Quantum in the building. How we doing? So I want to take you guys on this timeline to show you the power of a couple of the things that I want to talk about today. Because I want to talk about the entire experience up to where I'm currently at, where I'm at, my headspace, show you guys how Reckless Ray functions under stress. Because believe it or not, I am incredibly stressed right now. Like, incredibly. Like, there's a bunch of life-altering things that are going on because I'm not going to be back at full capacity from what they're telling me for 9 months. So it's no dancing. I'm not going to be able to work the way that I was previously working, which the way that I've curtailed my existence is based on my ability to outperform people physically. So there's a lot of stuff that's going to be changing for me. And we're gonna talk about it, but let's go through this timeline. So I got my surgery on the 26th. I ruptured my Achilles tendon on the 20th of April, and between the 20th of April and the 26th, I was able to get my Achilles surgery done. Now, I don't know about most of you, but like scheduling a doctor's appointment now, my stepfather, his appointment to go get, he's like got this weird hunchback thing going on. And to go get that diagnosed and scheduled, it's going to be in June of next year. Not this year, June of 2025. Now, I've told multiple people that, like, you know, it's important to have resources. I don't believe in silos. I treat everybody the same. And the same for me is very fucking well. Very fucking well. So, you know, I had people who are in my circle reach out, and fortunately for the business, I know a bunch of surgeons, right? And one of them reached out and was like, hey, you need to go to this guy. And I was talking to another one of our clients, reached out to me, and he didn't know what was going on. He just had a question about his system, just a real simple question. Shoots me a text every once in a while. And, you know, simple question, text him back and let him know if he needs to schedule an appointment or whatever. And he was in the process of getting ready to schedule an appointment. And he was wanting to know what my schedule was so he could make sure that I was the technician who went out to handle his appointment. And I had to explain to him that I wasn't going to be able to go out there. I ruptured my Achilles and I was going to be on the couch for a while. And he immediately calls and was like, oh, I can get you in Friday. I was like, what, Friday when? Like next Friday? Like, he was like, next Friday. He was like, I have an opening. He was like, come out to my house. He was like, I'll check you out here to make sure that you actually need the surgery. And then if you need the surgery, we can move forward. And when I tell you that I've had some people show up for me that I never, like, I'm not the type of person who asks anybody for shit. I don't really believe in that. I'm an advocate for living the stuff that we say in these little boxes. So for me, it's very hard to ask for anything. Like, I just don't ever need help. Like, I'm the person you can ask for help, but it's very seldom that you'll get the opportunity to help me because I don't like owing people anything. I don't like people feeling like I owe them anything. And basically that's how I live my life. So it's very hard for me to accept help. I'm not good at accepting compliments. I just don't like taking stuff from people. Well, when I tell you this dude showed up, got me put back together, Spaces said 9 months, a lot of Game of Thrones watching. Facts, big facts. But when I tell you, like, getting in for a surgery, and like it makes me, like, my parents were really reinforcing this because I had to have my mom help me out. She took me into my surgery, let me crash at her place for the observation period. Also, shout outs to my ex-girlfriend Kelsey. Like, she really showed up, brought me stuff, made sure I had snacks, stayed with me for the second night of the surgery to make sure I was straight, make sure I was good. Cleaned my kitchen, which was crazy. Like, shouldn't have to do that, but you know, roommates are wild. But she's really stepped up for no, like, obviously didn't ask her. I just let her know because, like, we text back and forth every once in a while, and I was like, you know, when I was going into the urgent care, I was like, hey, I'm going to be in this big building. I don't know if they're going to keep me. I don't know if they're going to, like, this is something that they fix here. Like, but I might not be able to, I might not have signal, so I might not get your text messages. And, you know, like, next morning, she's like, what do you need? Like, I'm coming over. I'm going to bring you stuff. Like, and so she was there from, like, the point of, like, she came over and brought me puzzles and comic books and all the stuff she knows I like. So that I would be occupied while being stuck on this couch. And, you know, like, multiple family members reached out and were like, hey, like, what are you doing? One of my best friends, JC, here in town. What do you need? Yeah, see, Quantum, everybody likes her. She's a very likable person. My one of my best friends, one of my longest friends, JC, has been swinging through to kind of like visit with me. I've had multiple friends call and want to chat on the phone. Everybody that I've reached out to, multiple people you need somebody to talk to. Shout out to Grooming and Reviews. If you guys aren't tapped in with Grooming and Reviews, nah, she ain't like that, bro. She definitely ain't bringing no pictures of no other women up in here. She ain't. Yeah, it's not happening. What's going on? Shout out to World Class. But she's done that. I've had multiple friends who, if you need to talk, like, hit me up. I've had multiple, you know, it's really interesting. A lot of my friends in the content creation space that I've met in this space have really showed up. Grooming and Reviews has been checking on me. Literally, dude has checked on me every week. Every week he's reached out and like, hey, how's your leg? Like, how's it doing? Like, what's going on? What's the update? because he'd reached out to me because like we talk, like I try to talk, and like I tell people this all the time. I don't think they believe me, but like I do make myself available offline, because for me, and it's the reason I don't joke, it's the reason I don't have a troll channel, it's the reason I'm not talking about the drama all the time. I actually do take the stuff that I like to talk about very seriously. So like I'm entertaining all those conversations. We have those conversations offline. There's multiple people who've tapped in, set up consultations. You talk to, like set up consultations, want to just have the conversation, like, hey, here's what I'm doing. Like, what are your thoughts on this? Stuff like that. Like I talk to people offline. So the people who've reached out and, been checking up on me, I really do appreciate that. But back to the trajectory of the story. So I go in for surgery, and one of the things I've experienced a lot of stuff, both good and bad, with the medical system. Now, 90% of it's good because my foot's back together. I can wiggle my toes. I can bend my foot and turn it now. It's just a matter of getting these staples. They put staples in me, all. And like, this is crazy because I didn't realize the staples were in there. And, he took the bandages off when I went for my appointment on, what was it? It was Wednesday. Went for my appointment this last Wednesday. He takes the bandages off, and he's like, we'll get those staples out, at least half of them next week. And I was like, there's staples in me? And he was like, yeah. He's like, we had to, you stitch it and then you staple it. Like, I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. But after the surgery, we're trying to do this on a timeline because my brain is extra scatterbrained because all I do is sit around and sleep at random now. After the surgery, I went home. They gave me my prescription meds. And, like I've tinfoil hat, gone on the opium gone down the rabbit hole of the opioid epidemic. Immediately, the first thing that I'm thinking is, fuck, I can't work. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. And that's one of the drawbacks of blue collar work is if you hurt yourself, you can't work. And it's kind of like it's a real bad place to be in. Me being defensive, obviously, my channel is Future Financial Strategy. Facts. World Class said he don't know who will. Yeah. And Quantum reached out too. Quantum's been reaching out, like me and her. Quantum's dope. If you're not tapped in with Quantum, with Dr. Quantum, you need to be. She shares really good stuff all the time, and it's just like a solid person. So like Quantum has been reaching out as well. Like let's give everybody their roses. I don't want to miss people. But she shares good stuff because like I'll scroll through her timeline on not her timeline but her stories on Instagram, and there's been times where like because like I can't. So we'll get to the part where I can't sleep. And like I'm just scrolling through and I'm like, cool, like this is something interesting. Like this is something to like give me some reprieve from this like maniacal doom loop thought process that I have. But as someone who does blue collar work, you can't work when you're injured. The second thing that I thought, so the first thing I thought was, oh God, I can't work. That's problem one. Problem two for me in my head, I can't work out. I can't work out. Like I'm going to have a little leg because I'm really using the other leg right now, like a lot. And those are two things that matter a lot to me as my work output. Now, what I've been doing, and the reason I started getting on YouTube and some of the stuff that I'm documenting is I'm working towards using more of my brain and less brawn to work because that is not sustainable. And now I'm being faced with exactly how not sustainable that is because you can't afford to hurt yourself. What's going on, Ona Spot? I'm good. I'm on the up and up. I can record again. So like I'm getting ready to brush through a bunch of content, but I wanted to do a couple of breakdowns, and some of this stuff is going to show up in some of the videos that are going to be coming forward because I got a lot of videos I got to record from laying on the couch. All I had to do is think and stuff that I can do remotely to help out the company. So doing a lot of thinking and doing a lot, as much helping as I can. But yeah, moving forward, like those were my initial two thoughts. And for me, when I get stressed, I go cold. Like I go completely numb, I go cold, and I go into problem fix it territory. And so like immediately I'm going, okay, so like if I'm not going to be able to physically like do shit for a few months, because I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be back on my feet faster than most people. I've already had the surgery, so the healing's going well. Every day I'm feeling better. Minus now knowing that these staples are in here, I'm starting to feel random pains from the fucking staples. I felt better when I didn't know that the staples were in there. But, you know, I knew the healing process was happening because I've been sleeping on the couch, which is, fortunately for me, I have a very comfortable couch. Spend money on your fucking couch, people. I didn't realize how important couches were until I got stuck on one for a week. A lot of people get these like really nice, modern looking, not comfortable couches. It's important you have a comfortable couch, because if you have an injury like this, so like I own a townhome, and oh yeah. So I was dancing, and I'm on my feet. So I do blue collar work. It's half blue collar, half IT. But we're in construction season, so up and down ladders for 45, 50 hours a week. When I go to the gym, my gym sessions are at least 3 hours. And then so I'm getting like 6 to 10 hours of working out a week, including my morning workout, which is probably like 45 minutes to an hour every morning. And that's regardless. Like if I don't go to the gym, those hour workouts happen. So at least 4 hours a week doing that. And so I'm in the gym probably about 10 hours a week. I'm training. I'm dancing 2 hours a week on top of 45 hours of being on my feet, going up and down ladders, doing cardio all day with weight. So I just wore my happy ass out, apparently. And like the tendon just gave way. I planted at apparently the perfect angle for it to snap itself. And yeah, like I got to sit my happy ass down. But so I get home and I'm like going over, I'm like, okay, well, worst case scenario, because like obviously I'm not going to be able to sit and rely on my salary not going to work. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to have to find like a temp remote job or something, because like while I don't need the income coming in, I don't want to have to live off my dividends right now in my dividend portfolio, because like that could pay for basically the stuff that I got to pay for, because I don't have much that I got to pay for. Like most of my expenditures are services that are discretionary that I don't need, that I could turn off. It's like subscription stuff. Like that's 90% of the stuff that in my personal situation I have to pay for. But you know, so I've been down here on this couch and I knew I was healing because I would start waking up and like, actually before that, let's go before that. Let's go to the night of to tell you guys all the stupid things that I've done in my existence and the way that my brain works. So I got home and when I went to the doctor, they basically did what would essentially be an epidural on my leg from the knee down. So they made it so I couldn't feel first off, I had to get put under, which is crazy. I had to go on a ventilator, which is also crazy. Like I now understand why all the people who got ventilated during COVID died. Like I totally understand it now. And we're going to get to that too, because that's part of the process. But they put me under. The dudes gives me the epidural for my leg, which turned my leg off. And then they put me under. And so that was the first part of the funniness of this experience. When they put me under, I had a hand. They went in through my hand, and that's where they put in the anesthesia. And so like they're going, and all I remember was I was sitting there, and when they put the anesthesia in, I was like, oh shit, like this hurts, and it hurt specifically in my wrist. So like this thing was like going into my wrist, and like it just felt like there was like a bunch of needles in my wrist, and I was like, that doesn't really feel good. Like that kind of hurts. And then the next thing I knew, I was out, and I was just waking up after the surgery. So that was the first thing. So they put me under. They had to put me on a ventilator while I was under, because I was completely under, to like make sure to help me breathe. And so I wake up and my throat, because like they told me, they were like, your throat's gonna hurt for a little while, because we're gonna have to put this breathing tube in you so that we can make you breathe. And I was like, oh, okay, like, cool, whatever. So I wake up, my throat does hurt real bad. Like, I'm like, whoa, like, I'm like coming out from under the anesthesia. And the first thing my nurse says is, are you really awake? And I was like, yes. Like, why would you ask that? And she was like, people don't really wake up this early. And I was like, I'm awake. And she was like, you're not going to remember this conversation. Here we are on YouTube still talking about the conversation. I did remember the conversation. My body doesn't like drugs. Like, I'm telling you, like, when I tell you my body personally does not like drugs, and I don't do drugs, I'm like, my body rejects everything that's not supposed to be in it at all times immediately. It's a war. So we get through that. My mom gets me home, so they like let me out. They're like, okay, well, like, cool, let's go get your mom. Like, yes, you guys can leave. So we get home, and the first thing that I noticed was it was really hard to breathe. Once like that, as the anesthesia starts wearing off, it's like, I'm breathing and like my throat hurts. They told me about that. They didn't tell me my lungs were going to hurt. And so like I'm sitting there that first night and I'm like, oh, like this is terrible. So I've got my list of medications, and they gave me the good stuff because like you go to surgery. So they gave me the Tylenol with the codeine in it. Yay, opioid epidemic. I understand why, but like we're going to get to that part. So I was trying not to take anything. So I was like, I've got a high pain tolerance. And, you know, I like to think I'm a tough guy. I'm a tough guy. I can take a lot of pain. Not necessarily a tough guy in the sense that it's like, well, actually it is in the sense of like, if you can take a lot of pain, like you can really put a pain on somebody because you can just take more pain than they can. So, but I was like, okay, so they gave me the stuff. They told me that my leg was going to be numb for a day and a half to 2 days. So I'm thinking on the low end, a day and a half, maybe a day. I'm like, I got a day. So I didn't want to start. And they told me, they were like, you need to take the codeine ahead of the pain. Like, you don't want to get behind the pain. It's not going to be good. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to take this stuff till I have to, because I want to take as little of it as possible. No, Spaces said, did you consult with Dr. Quantum before consuming those drugs? Absolutely did not. Did not. So I'm thinking I don't have to worry about this until tomorrow. And it's like the evening of the surgery, and my leg is completely numb. I can't feel shit. So I'm feeling good. Like, I'm outside of the lung deal, which actually scared me, because I was like, how long is this going to last? Because none of the drugs lasted as long as they were supposed to. But all of the pain that they were saying, like, hey, this is going to be messed up, you're going to have a sore throat, all this stuff lasted longer than what they said it was going to be. And so I'm like, dude, were they like fucking stab me in the throat with this tube or what? Like, I literally felt like somebody had just vigorously assaulted my throat in a prison fashion. It was ridiculous. It did not feel good. I did not like it. What's going on, Travel One? Travel One, I've done everything my doctor said, because it was a client of mine that's a friend of mine that did the surgery. So like, that's the only way that I got the surgery as fast as I did, was because of the connections that I have, which is why I tell people you can't silo, because that was an Indian man who apparently they supposedly don't like us, because they tell us black people tell ourselves that everybody fucking hates us. It's like, go establish some relationships and you'll see how your life changes. What's going on? What's going on, man? So, and Kev, I am gonna send you that link. Oh yeah. I'm good. I'm good, Bumpkin. I'm recovering. I'm recovering now. Like, the fact that I'm recording is improvement. But, you know, like, you don't, like, I always tell people, you can't isolationism is not a way to get shit done. Because I don't even know any good sports medicine surgeons that are black, period. So like, I wouldn't have been able to have one, first of all, and definitely not the best one in the state. So also that, like, it's like, I want the best person to put me back together. I don't want somebody based off the color of their skin. I want somebody who can fucking perform. I don't want a diversity, equity, and inclusion doctor performing my surgery unless he also happens to be the best at the surgery. And like, my surgeon literally was like, looked at me and was like, I don't understand why you didn't just call me. I was like, I don't know what kind of surgeries you perform. He was like, a monkey could do this surgery. And I was like, that's the guy I want doing my surgery, the one who's so confident that literally he believes that the surgery is stupid. So that's who I had put me back together. Oh yeah, world class. We're going to. Now that I'm sitting back up, I don't have shit else to do at this point. So it's working on my portfolio and doing content, getting my content caught up. We're going to be retconning the channel. There's going to be some stuff on here that are different. You're going to see some different shows because I have some different stuff that I'm tracking now that is worth talking about. There's going to be a bunch of stuff. So anyways, throughout that night, the epidural they put in my fucking leg wore off. And so I'm a pretty hard sleeper. And when I tell you I woke up in the most excruciating 100% post-op, you've got a hole and staples in your Achilles tendon that just got sewn back together. Pain in my life. That's what it was. Like, I've gotten hit by cars. Like I've been checked by a car and while on a skateboard and like flew down the street and landed on my head. It hurt worse than that. I sublocated a rib. It hurt worse. I sublocated a rib breakdancing. Also crazy injury. It hurt worse than that. I got in my heydays back in my 20s, I got so drunk that I tore the muscle that squeezes the vomit that contracts your stomach when you throw up. I tore it. I tore that once and couldn't breathe right for a year and a half. It hurt worse than that. Like when I tell you this was the worst pain that I have ever felt, and that's saying a lot because I've experienced some pretty egregious pains. There was nothing compared to it. And so I got a taste of 100% pain. And so like I woke up and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. And then like I woke up, and apparently waking up versus when I was fully awake, the pain accelerated from the worst pain I felt ever to Goku Ultra Instinct, worst pain I felt ever. I mean, I don't, Travel One, I'm not even comparing pain. I would never want to experience childbirth at this point. Like, I don't want to experience another surgery at this point, bro. Like, it was terrible. But, we thugged our way through it. I'm proud to say that I did not cry, but it did hurt so bad that I started maniacally laughing, which actually kind of scared me. Like, I felt like that pain unlocked something that got loose that I might have not wanted to get loose. I don't know. But so while I'm experiencing the worst pain ever, I'm going, okay, I got to take something for this now. And I didn't want to take the codeine pills because people get addicted to that shit. And I didn't want to deal with that. So I took the anti-inflammatory, which don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. This is just the way that Ray's brain was feeling when I first woke up and experienced the worst pain ever. I was like, I got to take something. I don't want to take that yet because addiction and opioid crisis, and I don't want to be a part of it. And so I took the anti-inflammatory. Oh, geez. Onaspot said, birth is the equivalent of 20 fractures at once in terms of pain level. Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't want that. Don't want that. Spaces said, God dang, you better never break dance again. I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, that's an integral part of my life. It's actually pretty depressing not being able to train. Honestly, I have been working out though. Like, I just went and figured out what workouts I can do without moving my ankle or touching it. And so we've been doing the crunches. We've been doing the sissy push-ups, a bunch of sissy push-ups. I just keep doing sissy push-ups. And the sissy push-ups are the ones where, like, because girls can't go straight out all the time. They can't do, like, full-fledged push-ups, so they go from their knees. I just do those. Yeah, Travel One, you're right. I did not. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't trying to stay ahead of the pain. I did not want to overlap the codeine with the anesthesia because I still had the anesthesia in my body and I still had an epidural in my leg that was still functioning. So like when I went to sleep, I was going to plan on taking the codeine in the morning when I woke up. So I took the anti-inflammatory and thought that was going to help, and then sat there for 30 minutes in the most excruciating pain of my life. And then I decided to take the Tylenol with the codeine in it because it did not help. It did not help at all. And so now I'm sitting here still in pain for another probably about 45 minutes to an hour until the codeine kicks in. And like once the codeine kicks in, I can go to sleep. And so like now I'm on the pain regimen. So I talked to my doctor in the morning and told him the story, and he laughed at me. And he was just like, yeah, he was like, you can double up on those for the first day to like make sure you're good. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the next day, so I'm taking 2 every 4 hours of these pills. So I'm fine. Now pain's gone. I'm feeling fine. And I go home and Kelsey comes over and she's going to sit with me, and she stays over that night, the first night after the surgery. So like I'm taking my pills and kind of like passing out, taking naps and like watching TV with her, hanging out. And it's like the second day, because she stayed the second day too. And I'm on my pain regimen. It's towards the evening, and I'm like, and she's like, hey, are you going to take your pills? And I was like, oh yeah. Like, and so I pop another 2 pills. And this is when I decided I wasn't taking anymore. Because I looked and I was like, it hasn't been 4 hours. And she was like, you said 2 hours. I was like, no, I didn't. And I already swallowed them. So I spent that Saturday night high as fuck. Like when I tell you, bro, like I was just sitting there chilling, bro, but I felt it. So at that point, rolling into that Sunday, so this is 3 days past the surgery, I was like, I'm not taking these anymore. So I took like 1 pill in the morning, and then I took the pill at the half day because I didn't want to just stop after taking 4 pills before passing the fuck out. So, because I didn't know what that was going to be like. So then I took the pills. I took 2 pills on Sunday, and I haven't taken them since. That entire first week, though, I had a gnarly headache the entire time, and it was like that codeine rolling out of my system because I've been taking it to go to sleep. I continued taking the anti-inflammatories, which I stopped taking today because I realized that that's the reason I've been having insomnia and can't go to sleep. I normally take them in the second half of the day. But I got off the codeine. I did not. And the thing is, I still have a ton of those pills. Like they give you so many pills, like so many, like a lot. And I'm like, you know, like going back to like the opioid crisis. I'm like, dude, like I took it for 3 days. 3 days I took the pills as directed and had a headache for an entire fucking week, like an entire week. Like, no wonder people get addicted to pain pills. Like, that is crazy. Because if you take it over a long period of time, your body, you forget how to process pain. Like, that's part of the reason I think it's a blessing that I did get to experience the full bore pain for an hour is because the way my brain works is like I record every pain that happens to me, and that's just the new standard. So like I have a higher pain threshold. But the other thing is, when I weaned off, I was less scared because I was like, I've been healing. Like, I know I've been healing. And I was less scared of being in a little bit of discomfort than being addicted to pain meds, because my mother was addicted to pain meds because she's had multiple surgeries and shit. And so like now she swears off of them. She's like, I'd rather be in pain and you actually fix the problem than you just give me drugs to mitigate the pain, because I'll take them. And so I didn't want to, I was like, I don't have an addictive personality, but I also am like, I understand that they need to be taken, but it's like, you take as little as you can when it comes to that stuff, people. Like, because I could see how if I would have taken that whole bottle of pills, how it would be real hard to get off, because 3 days worth gave me a headache for an entire week straight. Like, as soon as I stopped taking it, like basically the next day, the second day, because like I got myself some Tylenol, because I was like, well, if I'm in any type of serious discomfort, I'll take the Tylenol. And I got myself the extra strength, rapid release Tylenol, and I was like, I'll take those if I need them. I've got ibuprofen in the house. We'll do that. And it was an entire week off 3 days. And I'm like, that was probably, if I was taking the minimum dosage, I'd probably say I would make it through this month into next month. I could get through at least a month of pills. At a month, 3 days, you got a headache for a week. Let's extrapolate that out. Let's do some quick math. So 3 days, I had a week's worth of headaches. And obviously we're doing this with Ray's body. I process stuff fast and I'm not addictive. So like, I'll just sit with the headache. Like, it's fine. But let's see here. So 3 days. So that would give you a headache for a month on an average, a 30-day month. And you take all 30 days of the pills. You're going to withdraw for a fucking month. Like, what? That's crazy to me. Like, that is insane. Ona Spot said, I feel you, Ray, on not wanting to take the drugs. I've never done any drug, including weed, because I'm so scared of addiction. See, I got an issue with weed. I don't actively partake, but it's not like that's a non-starter for me. Like, I mean, I've gone through, when I was in high school, like when I went to private school, we engaged in what I found out after the fact was called binge drinking regularly. And when I went back to public school, I don't drink alone normally. And when I went back to public school, they didn't drink there. They did drugs, and I don't do drugs. So I was like, well, I can't hang out with nobody. So I just stopped drinking, and I went through binge drinking withdrawal for probably about like my first 2-3 months back during August, like during the summer months when you first get back and it's hot and the air conditioning's not fully on. And when it is fully on, it still doesn't work well because it's public school. And you know, I just thugged it out. I'm really not the type of person who does those things, but it's interesting because while I do listen to I listen to stuff that people say, but like, I'm also like, if I know that there's an addiction tied to whatever you're telling me, and it's like, well, you could be addicted or you could just be in a little bit of pain, I'm going to elect for the little bit of pain. Like, I'm not going to be a part of that system. Like, I'm not going to be one of those statistics where it's just like, what are you doing? I'm chewing pain pills like on fucking Ballers because I don't want to be uncomfortable or go get my shit fixed. Like, first of all, we'll go get the shit fixed. And second of all, we're not going to just subsist on drugs. Like, that's just crazy to me. Also, another random thing is that, like, people, like, I never knew what it was, but once I was taking those Tylenol with the codeine in it, people who are on painkillers or on that shit, they have a sick. And I didn't know what it was because generally I'm just like, this motherfucker stinks or this chick smells like medicine or something like that. And like, I'm not about it and I don't want to be around those types of people. But like when I was taking it, the other thing that I noticed is like every time I went to the bathroom to take a piss, like I smelled that smell. And I was like, yo, like that's what that is. Like, nope. Like that was another easy for me because I was like, I don't like the way this shit smells, bro. Like, it's been an interesting experience. So that puts us up to where we're at now. Like, I got a little walker thing so I can get upstairs. Also, if you're ever planning on crippling yourself, don't buy a place that has 2 flights of narrow stairs. It's just not the play. It's not the play at all. So the reason I haven't been recording is I've been stuck on my main level and I don't have a way to set anything up. Like, I've got all this stuff already set up, and it's like getting to it was a pain in the ass. Like, I ordered multiple things and contraptions for me to be able to get around. And so like I got this like little peg leg thing, makes me a pirate so that I can like walk. Cause like I don't like using the crutches. Like it's an abnormal thing for me to do. And I feel like I have like a higher risk of falling because I can't use my hands. Also, you can't carry stuff. So I got this little peg leg thing off Amazon, super useful. because they told me to get a scooter, and I was like, I have stairs. Like, I would only be able to roll on one floor, and like that would suck. So I'm not doing it. So instead, I got this peg leg guy, and so that I can get around. I use it everywhere. Like, I took my mom out to lunch for taking me to the doctor the other day, and I got to use it hobbling around in the place. All the waitresses felt sorry for me. It's great, and yeah, no, it's been an experience. I've always been super sweet to her. Like, I'm never not super sweet to Kelsey. Like, she's all like, I've always been nice and just hoping that she gets the stuff that need to be fixed. Like, this is what it is. Like, I'm never not nice to anybody. Like, which actually is probably pretty annoying because like I'm pretty much the same with everyone. But yes, I have been super nice. We're gonna have to, on the back end of this, we're gonna have to get her something special, and because yeah, she definitely did show up for me. And yeah, it's been a trip. So like now I got a little storage ottoman that's up here that's under my desk, so I can get my foot up a little bit. I can get to the second floor, so now I can record again. I just got to get back into my schedule of doing, because like I'm probably going to do the remote work and stuff that I can do from home. I'm going to do here, but like honestly, like at this point, it's like that's one of the stress points is like now I'm going to have to start making that pivot to where it's like, I'm going to have some things of my own, like that are blatantly mine, because like I don't like having people feel like they got leverage over me, because my situation's dope. Because technically speaking, if I don't, outside of food, I'm straight. Like nothing changes for me. Like the lights stay on, the house still exists, because I'm a house hacker, and I know y'all talk shit about it, but what's funny is like if you own your home and like it's just you there and you hurt yourself, your home goes away too. Like, and like contingency to the contingency, like I'm paid out 4 months on my mortgage. Contingency to the contingency is I've been adamantly and actively, and I had started this before I hurt myself, but like it which is the real upsetting part, because I was like, if I could have just smooth sailed through the rest of this year without having to worry about the income coming in for the portfolio. What's going on, Nunya? Nunya's in the building. Without knowing that I was going to injure myself, like I started actively building out my brokerage portfolio to start to putting together the income portfolio that I want. But so like I've got income kicked off that. The cruddy part is, like now we have the debt, and it's like, well, technically speaking, contingent to the contingency, if I liquidate the assets, I can pay all my debt back. I don't want to give up the income. Like I took that debt out to buy cash flow. That's what the play was. And you use the cash flow to pay back the debt. You get to keep the income generating asset that you purchase. And that's the way that I want this to play out. Now one of the deals with that was like, now that we've got enough kicking out of the dividends, I could self-sustain off that. I don't want to, because it's not at the level that I want it to, because I'm like, well, if we're going to do that and I'm not going to have to go to work, then I want it to pay for everything. Like, and so we're not at those levels yet. We're just at the level that like right now, nothing has to change for me aside from like turning off some streaming stuff. Like that's basically where we're at. Definitely not selling. She said you could sell drugs or puppies. Definitely not doing either one of those. People who sell puppies have stinky houses, and I do not want a stinky house. Like, I'm definitely not selling drugs. So, but we've got some stuff in the hopper. It's just interesting because like I always tell people, they're like, you're taking this really well, and I'm like, well, I am and I'm not, but the one thing that I will say is this version of me, the one that's just cold callous and solves things, is the one that makes all the fucking money. So on the other side of this, however it plays out, I know it's going to probably be it's going to be in my best interest. It's just how we get there. But like, yeah, like I'm not the type of person who stresses out about something and then just continues to stress out about it. I'm like, I stress out about shit one time and then I figure out a way to never be in that position again. And so this has been that shock to the system where it was like all the stuff that we're putting in place on future financial strategies, all the stuff that we're doing in crypto portfolio updates was so that if this were to happen, it wouldn't really fucking matter. And like now that it inconveniently matters, because in the grand scheme of things, it still doesn't fucking matter. I'm a hard worker. I can get a job. I know that however long I'm off this leg, when I come back into the market, I'm still going to be better than everybody else who does what I do. So it's not like if I'm not where I'm at, I couldn't go do that somewhere else. But also getting rid of me comes with a couple of checks, which is good too. Like strategically, I'm in a good place for having this injury. I just wish it was next year, because next year's portfolio, the income that would be coming off of it, would have been more amicable to what I'm trying to do. Oh, actually, hold up. Let me this Kev said he wanted that StreamYard link. Hold up a second. Let me send that over to old Kevin. Hold up a second. Oh, gotcha. Hold up. So hold on. I'm sending Kev the link now. I'm going to drop it in the chat if you guys want to come up and just shoot the shit for a little. Actually, it doesn't even matter how long you want to shoot the shit for. I ain't got nothing else to do. So, hold up a second. Hold on. Slash 2 you shoot. Well, if you guys want to swing through, but yeah, and it's interesting. It's been a ride, man. It's been a trip. I've been sitting downstairs for a long time. I was like missing not being able to stream, not being able to even updating my calendar. Like I had to come back in and I had to backfill a bunch of stuff. Like that also wasn't fun. Like, but it's going to be this month's going to be interesting because of how much money I'm going to have. Oh, what's going on, Beak? So I ruptured my Achilles, and the way that it happened was I was dancing, but the reason it happened is because my job's half construction. It's during the construction season of the job. And so I spend 45 hours on my feet and at least 10 hours in the gym, which is also on your feet doing hard work. And then I dance for 2-3 hours a weekend. And it just became too much. Like we're in a couple of large rough-ins that I've been having to rush through. And so it's basically like working out for 50 hours a week. And like our bodies just aren't built to deal with that type of wear and tear. And I'm notoriously bad about pushing myself because I don't want to sacrifice the things that I want to do for the things that I have to do, per se, at least not in that retrospect. Like I can do that with money and finance all day. I can look further down the road. But like when it comes to like your body, you have a certain window of time that it's effective for the stuff that I'm trying to do. Like I don't play golf. Like it's not a deal where I'm doing something that's low impact. Like breakdancing is a very high impact thing. So, you want to use up all that while you got it. Like if I'm going to be injured, I don't want to be injured at work. Like I don't want to sacrifice my body for somebody who's extracting resources off my ass. Like that's For me, that's my line. I'm like, and I told, and you know, I've said that multiple times. And it's something that I live by. I'm like, not off my back. Like, I will not sacrifice my body for you. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're paying. I don't care who you think you are. Like, if you can't whip my ass, no. Like, if one of us got to go, it's going to have to be you, because I'm going to utilize my body the way that I want. It is mine. It's 100% mine. It's under my control. I'll do what I want with it. And, you know, like, thinking about it now, it's like, you know, like, we're going to have to make some fucking adjustments, because this injury, if I was working at an office job, would have never been an injury for me, because then I would just be training. I would just be working out. And then I would also have the additional downtime of not having to be on my feet. So, oh shit. You know what? I don't know. I've never done the vertical stream. So the reason I did this was I was told that, like, they push this out in the algorithm if you go vertical, and like it's supposed to be a one of the hacks to get more people to see your streams. And, you know, like, consistency wise, like, I mean, it's all right. It's like my people's, but we're I wanted to give it a look and see how the functions were on it, because it does do some pretty interesting. What's this do? I don't even know what the hell that is. Oh, okay, interesting. So I was testing it out to see what it looks like, because I'm pretty sure that this is going to be like the preferred way. Like, if you start streaming, if you start going live with your Instagram audience and all that good stuff, which I went ahead and set that up. But this is pretty interesting. So, but yeah, I mean, so I'm going to have to start making some of the adjustments, because I don't, like, even once I can get back out in the field, I don't know that I want to be in the field. Like Spaces was saying, oh, you shouldn't dance anymore. I'm like, no, like, maybe I just shouldn't climb ladders. Like, that's kind of where I'm at with it, because I am that about my shit. And at this point, the flex of being like, oh, I'm part owner in a business really doesn't fucking matter. Like, it really doesn't. Like, the title of that, like, being able to go, okay, like, it's a good talking point for talking shit to people online, but it doesn't fucking matter. I was like, what matters is that I have a steady stream of income coming in so I can fill my fucking portfolios up. Like, that's really all that matters to me, because that money is going to allow me to do some other stuff. So it's like, you know, like, you start looking at mitigating my way through this, because, like, realistically, like, when I think about it, it's like, the only reason I go to work now is because I need insurance. That's about it. It's realistically about it. Now, if I can set up a business to where I can provide insurance benefits for other employees, like, if I can replicate, like, what I've already been a part of, what I've been doing, because, like, before I worked here, I helped build another business that was very successful and got bought out. And I've just done this for other people. I've never done it for myself. And, you know, like, maybe it's time to do something for myself, and getting some sort of business set up to where we can provide insurance benefits. And then I have the insurance, and I don't have to go physically do the labor, or something where the labor's lighter, because there's a bunch of hustles in blue collar. There's so many. And, like, I already know that I can work. It's just a matter of dealing with the shit that you got to deal with to do what you got to do. But yeah, Beak, you're right. Achilles can take a little while to heal. It's supposed to be 9 months. It's supposed to be 9 months to get to a point to where you're back to 100%. They're saying that's around 9 months. Now, what I'm doing specifically is, as soon as I get these staples all out, and oh snap, Bumpkin in the building. Okay, that's the homie. Hold up a second, because I can still play intros in portrait mode. Show them if you got them. You know what I'm saying?
Are you tired of the socialist and liberal creep that's happening in our society today? Are you tired of people saying stuff but not doing anything? Well, this guy is, and he's doing it at New Frontier USA. Go check him out there. Until then, say hello to Bumpkin.
This is dope. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
How's it going, man? You can hear me good?
Oh, yeah. No, you're coming through crystal clear, man. It's been a minute. How have you been?
It's been a minute. I was worried about you, man.
Dude, I was worried about me the first couple until after the surgery, and then I was just like, well, I just gotta heal now.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was. What the fuck is going on? Sorry, I just got a new phone and it's being like super, super gay right now. Just give me a second.
All the technology, man. All the technology.
I got like 3 phones now, a tablet, a computer. It's fucking dumb.
What the heck, dude? What are you doing?
Collecting this shit like Pokemon cards, man. Collecting this shit
Bro.
like Pokemon cards. You don't mind if I smoke on stream, do you?
No, I don't. You can have your cigarette
All right.
with your Confederate chops and mustache.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, bro. Hey, you look like you got a little bit more neck too. The fuck's wrong? You been getting them steps in?
Are you saying I've got fatter, or are you saying I got?
No, I'm
skinnier?
saying it looks like you got a little bit more neck than the last time I saw you, and I was making fun of you for having a neck last time.
Fuck.
Oh man,
I've been getting those steps in, man. It's just, for one, face fat's the first thing to drop off. Sorry, the
Right.
last thing to drop off,
right.
which is fucking dumb. It should be one of the first things. But
You
whatever.
want a face, you gotta earn it, bro.
Motherfuckers, dumb.
Oh, dude. But
See, God
yeah.
has a sense of humor, man. God has a sense of humor.
Dude, I'm gonna have to send you so my first live stream back when I could get upstairs, bro. Went in over on Grooming and Reviews channel, and one of his regulars was over there, bro. Just eviscerated them over because they were like, the topic was they don't really care about us, and I was like, dude, like, if nobody gave a shit about us, then how my leg get put back together, bro? Because ain't nobody that looked like me put that shit back together. Like, I was like, dude, like, because like they try to go down the victim Olympic road, and I was like, no, let's have the conversation, and like it turned into this deal where they were talking about it from a perspective of like, oh, well, like both sides don't like us. I'm like, that's okay, fair, but like when you're talking about policy. And you're talking about voting in somebody who said that, oh, yeah, we'll get you on the back end, and then didn't answer the phone after they got what they wanted, versus someone who you can say whatever you want about Trump, but he actually put together an entire policy with words, some sort of metric that you could go against, to where if you voted him in and he didn't do any of the stuff on the list, you could be like, you didn't do any of that shit you said you were going to do. Whereas with the Democratic Party, they just say, oh, yeah, we're here for you. Like, big fucking how, and it turned into like this big conversation. I was like, well, it doesn't excuse, like, if you're voting independent, then that means you should care about policy and things that are written down. And
You
then
should.
right, and then like we talked about like the whole Flint, Michigan thing, and like systemic racism is the reason they got lead pipes, and I was like, there's only 2 white people in charge there, and they're not in charge of the infrastructure. Everyone else is black, and they voted him in. And then the goalpost shifted to, well, that wasn't a priority. And I was like, okay, well, then you don't get to bitch about having water that turns you into a scale monster if you voted and said this isn't a problem right now. And now it is a problem. Like, after it's brought up, you're going to blame white people when it was just y'all doing this shit?
It's like people don't understand local politics.
No.
Do you think the CIA was down there putting in lead pipes? Do you think that they went out of their way to be like, fuck black people, and then start putting lead pipes in people's houses and shit?
Right. Like, no, everyone had lead pipes. It's just jurisdiction.
You didn't build up the infrastructure to stop that.
Because they were like, this isn't good for us. Like, because, I mean, we don't have that here in KC, but like our infrastructure, we use clay pipes, right? Now, if you could imagine an area that has multiple different climates all the time, weekly, clay pipes aren't good. They expand and contract and crack. So we're having construction all over the city right now because the last time that this happened, they fucking replaced them with clay pipes again. So like they never replaced the clay pipe issue. They just said, we'll put a new clay pipe in because it's just a few places. And now the whole city, all the water's broken. And so like they're having to go back through. But I'm like, our mayor's black. Like that's who's in charge of that. Most of the people we vote in are black. Like obviously it's not as bad as Detroit, but I'm like, they make bad decisions. They said, hey, we could fix the potholes in the pipes. No, let's put in this little fucking monorail thing that goes in a one fucking line because that's when people think it's interesting. And I'm like,
that's the type of shit you do after everything else is fixed.
Right. And so like but the issue that I had with it, I was like, you're eschewing personal accountability in 2024. And I was like, you can't overstep that. Like if you have the internet, there's literally nothing that is not available to you in regards to learning how it works. Like there's just not.
It would be like if I decided, right, for some reason I become president of the United States. And I decided instead of fixing the homeless situation, I decided that I was going to put in a light speed rail across the country.
Dude, so the homeless can get places faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's shit like, I mean, it's like, it's the same thing that, I mean, and like, if you want to extrapolate it out to a multicultural issue, it's all these motherfuckers that live in California and complain about everything being expensive and you not being able to exist if you don't make $200,000. Don't live there. Like, why the fuck are you there? Like, you obviously can't compete in that market. Leave. You just don't want to. Like you don't want to go exist somewhere where you can afford to live because it's cool.
Do you know what
in California?
Do you know what $200,000 gets me in North Dakota?
Bruh, fucking everything.
There's a 6-bedroom farmhouse with 7 acres of land that has fucking huge French opening doors in it, right?
What?
Yeah, 6 bedrooms, big ass basement, 3 stories. They want like $200,000 for that shit.
Is it haunted?
Huh?
Is it haunted?
It might be, but you know what? For that price,
too good to be true. You'd be the beginning of one of them movies where you look up and somebody's looking out the window. Who lives here? No one. Like, okay.
I'm just like, listen. For $200,000, I'll get a priest here. All right.
Right.
We're solving this problem.
He said, yo, I got kosher salt and this priest, bro. I got something for you.
You ain't never met a mortal like me, bro. You think I'm running away? We're going to play games. You're going to play the clap game. I'm going to clap back. All right.
Oh my goodness. No, but yeah, man, I was just like, you know, I don't do excuses. Like, and that was the thing. It's like, everybody's been like, oh, well, like, you're taking this really well. And I'm like, what the fuck else am I going to do? Like, I talk shit about being fucking mentally tough all the time. If I was sitting here crying online about my fucking Achilles, I'd be like, hell, I'm like, nah, bro. Like, you just fucking, you gotta adapt and adjust. It's like, this shit actually happened. Like, I can't go back and untake that step that ruptured this bitch. I wish I could, because I could have got laid that night. But I probably should have opted for that versus rupturing my Achilles. It would have been way better. But, you know, it's
Are you going to be doing physical therapy for it?
Oh yeah, I can't. I'm excited. I'm actually excited about that part of it. I mean, I think that's gonna be pretty interesting. So like, I've got like a thing that I can do now where I can like move my ankle, and it's like you got to go up, down, and then side to side to kind of like work it until the staples get out. But until I get back in the walking boot, because like right now I have a splint that I can strap to my foot to like kind of keep it from like banging and like agitating around. And then I have my my isolation boot, which is that big ass boot that you see people with. I got one of those, but I've been using the splint because like the isolation boot, like the way that my body's healing, it hurts to walk in my pirate leg thing with that on. So I've been wearing the splint most of the time, but I just take the splint off and do the stretches a few times a day. And I just make it a workout. Like I do it with my workout in the morning. Like it's part of my workout routine. Is the last thing I do is just take the splint off, and it doesn't feel the greatest, but like I've also been doing it to the point to where like I'm trying to force myself to do it with my foot and actually using the tendons to do it with like my hand guiding it versus maneuvering it myself. So,
well, yeah, but us as men, it's like, I don't know, man. I never understood that. Oh, boo-hoo, woe is me. I did this thing to myself, so now I'm gonna be self-pitiful.
Yeah, like no. Like I can't do it. Like I can't wrap my head around being that level of pathetic. That is up there. You know, another thing that I had a great conversation on Facebook about, people who take videos of them crying with their dead animals.
Oh my God.
Like, bro, like, and you know what? It's realistically, honest to God, I feel the same way about people who videotape themselves crying, period. Like I'm just like, what level of narcissist are you that you think I give a fuck about your tears? Like why are you this weak? Like, what are you crying about? Like, I understand if you're like in an interview and like you just get real hyped up and like you go down a rabbit hole and it's something where it's like you actually give a fuck about it and drop a tear or two. But like, if you're trying to be a guru and you're talking about like tapping into your sensual spirit and you're just like making videos of you crying, I'm like, so you started crying or made yourself cry and then opened your phone. That was your thought process. You opened your fucking phone and started recording yourself. Like, that's a fucking mental disability, dude. Like, I don't care what anyone says. That's not normal.
That's not normal.
It's like, I don't know. And I think that it's probably because, and like they told me this on the panel, that I'm so anomalous in the way that I was raised and my personality and the way that I've engineered myself that I just don't have a whole lot of empathy for things. I'm like 100%, you're right. Because like when this shit goes bad, all those people are just going to die and I'm not going to feel bad about it then either. Like, I'm not. It's gonna be me doing it. Like, I'm just like when I look at shit like that, and they're going, because at the end of the day, and this is what I always go back to. I'm like, we can take this shit back to first principles. If you have if every man on this planet was weak and effeminate, and not like me, and not like you, Bunkin, and they had that type of mindset that they're all victims and everybody's doing something to them and they don't want to build shit and they show up with their hand out and they want you to take care of them forever. If everybody had that mindset versus mine, would the planet exist in the fashion that it does right now? And the answer is absolutely fucking not. You wouldn't have air conditioning or anything else. You just have a bunch of dudes crying with the women. They wouldn't get shit done. They become like, so I'm like, it's not necessarily that I feel like I'm right. I just know that like, if everybody acted like me, the world would be a better place. The neighborhoods would be nicer. People's houses would be nicer. They probably, I mean, on the back end of it, they'd probably be happier and we'd all just be able to just fucking work and everybody would have a sense of respect based on the merit that we're all fucking trying really fucking hard. Like,
yeah, but no. People are bitch made.
Bro. Yeah. Spaces said, don't buy that house. He said it's gonna eat you.
No, I have a different house that I'm probably gonna be getting.
Nice. So you found something you want?
Yeah.
What did you just sigh and look off into the ether for?
Because I worked so hard not to be white trash, but I found a fucking trailer that's really nice. So I might be going back to white trash them.
I mean, is it a nice? I mean, there's nice trailer parks.
It's a nice. It's got a fucking jacuzzi in it. So
fuck it, get the fucking trailer, and then you know what? When you start saving up for the next property and then rent that bitch out and never sell it, own it forever. Like, what are you talking about? That you're fucking starting out. Like, like, you know how many places you're probably gonna live between now and like the end of your life?
That's
it's one fucking place, and it's the first one. Like, who cares? Like, Like, as long as it's not like a fucking trap trailer, you got like meth heads like
The
looking in
first
your
one I
window.
looked at was a trap trailer in the same fucking place.
Like,
Dude, they wanted $10,000 for this shit, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is too good to be true, but I'm gonna go check it out, see how it is, because sometimes shit happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I walk into the fucking place with the bitch that's showing it to me, and immediately I see 4 soft spots in the floor in the living room.
Oh no.
And I'm like, okay, let's look at the rest of the place. Fucking punch holes in the drywall.
Kevin lived there.
Fucking carpet's just shit.
Oh,
And I'm
God.
like, and if it was like one soft spot, I might have done it. If it was one soft spot, I can fix that. But if there's 4 soft spots in a fucking floor, that means there's other problems going on.
Right.
So I did not get that.
Bro, you could have made like 4 secret exits.
I would have made an exit if I tried walking on that fucking floor.
Bro.
Are you serious?
Did you tell her when you were like, ma'am, could you please go stand over there on that spot specifically? Go stand there.
Because before I even went there, when I was talking to him on the phone, I was like, she's like, it needs some work. I'm like, okay, is it livable? She's like, yeah, it's livable. And I walk in, I see 4 fucking soft spots on the floor. And I wanted to be like, define livable.
Bro, you can't come home drunk, bro. I'm outside again. Like, man, what the hell's going on here? You're like, bro, like, I don't
know if you know anything about like modular homes or not, but
yeah,
they're a pain in the ass to fix for starters.
Oh, really?
Yes. Secondly, if you because they have these cross beams across the bottom of them, right?
Yeah.
If those cross beams are rotten, you might as well just crunch the trailer. You might as well. You're not gonna. Because then you have to completely remove the frame from the bottom, lift it up, and completely.
Oh yeah, and then like rebuild
change
it.
Every single fucking cross beam.
Bro, yeah, no, to hell with that.
I'm like, yeah, you got me fucked up. I'm not gonna spend $10,000 to have to put in $90,000 to make this shit work.
He said you go fall through the floor like Anton did in that shirt. God damn, bro. Space is all one, bro.
It's true though. That shit was soft as hell. That shit was soft, dude. You know how pissed I would be if I came. You know how absolutely pissed I'd be if I came home drunk and I just sunk a fucking leg straight through the floor.
Bro. Like, I'm tearing it apart. Oh my god, you ain't lying.
I just
man.
call your ass and be like, I'm done.
No, but I mean the other trailer though, like if you were to do something like that and then you just figure out a way like to never have to sell it, that can become an income stream once you leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It sounds nice, and if you got a jacuzzi and shit, like that's actually pretty baller for like what it is. You're like fucking chilling out, you're gonna be comfortable.
It's like I'm not gonna lie, it's like a bougie trailer. It's pretty crazy. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath trailer.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me. I didn't know those fucking even existed, but
that's freaking awesome. Well, I mean, there's that. Like, I mean, I'm looking at. There's a spot that me and Kelsey used to go for vacations, and it's like a little bit out of town, but like, there's always like all these random plots of land down there. I'm like, dude, like, I honestly just want to like snatch one up and then buy like one of those container homes and Airbnb that shit. Because last time we went down there, we Airbnb.
Airbnb is a good source of money.
What's going on, boy? How you doing, brother?
Yo, what's going on, gentlemen? Great day.
Bro, you fishing?
I wish.
What does he look like? He's fishing or at the casino? He looked like he on the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas tip right now, bro. You all right?
This man woke up and was like, I want to be fishing, but instead I'm on stream.
Bro.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. Yeah, dude. I
wish
was like,
I was in some nature right now. I overheard you guys talking about these trailers. That's my next move. That's what's up.
Dude. Well, I think what I'm gonna do is like it's like this. So the place that I'm talking about, it's a gated community, but it's like around these lakes and there's like little activity stuff to do in there, and it's like a vacation spot, but there's people that live there. And I was just gonna like when we stayed there, it was literally a container home that's like off into the forest area. And they dropped down one of these container homes, and it was dope. And they split into two halves where there were two different units, and Airbnb'd them both.
Damn.
And it had like a balcony you could sit on and shit. Like it was really nice. And I was like, dude, like these plots of land really ain't that expensive. Like I'll like get a few of those and just drop down a container home in there and just Airbnb it when I'm not using it.
That's the move, man. That's really the move. These containers and the Airbnb in it.
Yep. And I mean, it's far enough out that like, if shit got bad in the city and like shit goes bedlam, I also have a place that you just go be like, well, I'll just go be in that community and just everybody be strapped up and we just chilling it.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, and what people got to understand too is these fucking trailer parks, if they allow you to finance through them, they are way more lenient than fucking a bank or any place, man.
No shit. Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Know that.
Wow, I didn't know that. They let you finance through them?
Yeah. A lot of them do.
Damn. Huh.
Like, and they have different options for you. Like you can either, you can either finance through them immediately and then pay that off monthly throughout like rent. So it's sort of like a rent to own type thing.
Yeah.
Or you can lease it and still rent to own it for a year. And then at that year mark, all of the money that you spent goes into the down payment for the rest of the home. And then you would just use that as a fucking payment for it as well.
No shit.
They're like,
dope. Like that's really cool.
So, hey, man, listen, I mean, Trailer Park Nationalism, we might need to get there, boy.
Bro. Literally. And I mean, people rent those too. So it's like, if you, like you can make a little, I mean, I'm sure a bunch of people make a grip of money renting out trailers. So
the only thing that sucks about it is the lot rent, but most of the time the lot rent's put in with the normal leasing costs. So
yeah.
Pumpkin, is it cheaper to do that method than to get the land on your own? Is it better to go through one of these trailer parks?
Cheaper, yes.
What are some of the like pros and cons versus land in the trailer park? Is it just overall better to be on the park because you're surrounded by people who know about that life?
You're surrounded by people that know about that life. Also, you got to look at the the initial costs, right? So if you get your own land out in where the fuck ever, right, and you put whatever you want on it, you got to run power, you got to run water, you got to run all of that. If you're too far out of the city, you got to fucking hope and dream and wish that there's a fucking well on that property because there's no way the city's going to run water to you.
That's logistical. That's for sure.
Yeah. So with one of these, you can just walk up and it's like, oh, has water to it, power to it, all of it. So it's just ready to go.
Can you put a container in one of those, or it has to be a trailer?
It has to be a trailer.
Okay.
Because how it works is you will own the trailer, but you will not own the land.
Really?
Yes. So you don't own the land the trailer's on, but you own the trailer. So for instance, right, say I get this trailer, say I pay it all the way off. If I wanted to, I could fucking pick up that trailer and move it to a property.
Gotcha, because you're owning that. I see what you're saying. So with most trailer parks, somebody owns the underlying land, and they're like, you can move your shit out in it as you wish, but like that plot, you're paying me for that.
That's why lot rent exists, because you have to rent the lot that you're on. But a lot of trailer parks, like this one that I'm looking at, they're really lenient. Like you can apply if you want to build a fence on the property, because they look at that as your you're upping the value of the property.
Yep. So in most trailer parks, you never actually own the underlying land. You literally only own the trailer.
Pretty much.
That's the difference, Moy, is if you go into an existing trailer park, you can't buy the land. You're buying the trailer on the land.
Yeah, but you know, that's a good point. I was just gonna say, Bumpkin, in today's time, is there even point in owning land when the government still taxes you?
There's a point in owning land. But what you got to realize too is this is like you're able to take baby steps up to owning something, and then if you wanted to, after that, I mean, guys, most lot rent's like $300-$400. So if you can't do $300-$400 a month after you pay off your shit, I don't know what to tell you. But and then from that point, you know, if you own it, you could legitimately hook it up to a truck and literally pull it away and park it somewhere else if you want to own land somewhere else. So it's kind of like the idea of, instead of saving up for a massive amount of money, you can take baby steps into what you want to do.
Yeah. Smart. That's what I was about to say. I was like, also, if you don't own, like, I mean, you would want to, you can't leverage if you don't own it. That's the other issue. So, and I mean, I understand most people with their primary residences, they don't treat it like that. But like me personally, that's the way I look at everything. So because like realistically, if you're not actively utilizing your property, then like technically speaking, in the whole net worth conversation, it shouldn't fucking count because it's a dead asset.
You mean, yeah, it's more like a liability. But wouldn't you say wouldn't you say that's most people, because most people are not renting out their place?
Yeah, most people are poor too. Yeah, 100%. Like, but I mean, like that's the issue. It's like people aren't looking at like what it takes to strategically get ahead in the fucking game that we have to play. Like that doesn't mean that this is the game is the way that it 100% should be to work for everybody, because it's not. But you're still in the game. Like we don't have a choice about that.
And, like, are you speaking? My bad. And so like specifically, I mean like the economic system we exist in. Like any ecosystem you go into, like if you go to any other country, whatever, they have their own game that they play. The game that we're in affords more opportunity than a lot of the other games that are being played. Right, yep. Right. Are you basically saying that the ownership is a positive always in your view because it allows you to have collateral in the game?
It's not. It's a positive if you know what you're doing. If not, then no. If it's so for the average person who's poor, it's a shackle, to be honest, because now you have to go work. I mean, you're going to have to go work either way, but like in that sense, they talk people regularly into buying more home than what they need. They get them to get the max amount of loan. That is a leash at that point, because like now not only are you going, hey, I did this and it's the biggest investment I've ever made. Like if you're just living in it and it's just you there, it's not an investment at all until you start tapping into that equity to like start speeding along your process to get wealthy.
Yep.
But what they do is they convince people to go. So like, for instance, when I bought my place, I had 4 conversations with my mortgage company throughout this process where I was like, hey, this is what I need. They were like, we can give you more money. I was like, yeah, but this is what I need. They were like, yeah, but you can qualify for this. I'm like, no, this is what I'm getting. Like, this is the house I'm getting. I need that much money. And they were like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because they try to shoot you up because they make money off of you. You're the asset at the point of the purchase. You are the asset to the bank. That house isn't even an asset to you until about 5 years in, unless you hyper accelerate, pay your stuff down, or the equity goes up. So,
right.
But the caveat to that is, and the reason I do advocate for home ownership if the math works out, is because you have to pay rent either way. Either way, you got to live somewhere, right? But when you pay rent, you have no options. You're
right. So from a powers perspective, you mean, as far as like how everything rolls in our society,
you're considered like you have more status, more leverage when you have ownership. Is that basically what you mean?
It's the ability to leverage gives you a heightened status over a renter at the end of the day, period. Provided you have equity. You see what I'm saying? Like it's you can't like the conversation where, and like that's the reason that they're constantly pushing to people. Oh, you don't ever have to rent. Oh, or you don't ever have to own a home. Owning a home isn't what you need to do. You should just rent indefinitely. And it's like they're raising the rent hundreds of dollars, if not more, a year.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're telling people that they should go, like, that is a noose that could be worse. Like, in the entire time that I've owned this property, which I bought at the beginning of the pandemic to now, the payment's gone up maybe $125 over that entire timeline, and that's because tax changes. That's it. Cats are coming up. Like, I saw people that moved 3 times over the pandemic talking about they raised the rent $500 because the building got sold.
Yeah.
Like when? Tomorrow? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, so the way that I look at things from a financial perspective, there's offense and defense. Home ownership is a defensive tactic until you build up enough equity to start making offensive plays with it, but it gives you the option at some point to start making offensive plays.
Yeah.
And so, because you're securing the fact that, like, hey, at any given point throughout this year, your house could get sold and like your payment's now $500 more within 30 days. You got to figure it out.
Right.
That's generally not a reality if you own a home.
Right. What Bumpkin is talking about, isn't he also kind of talking about the fact that, and Bumpkin, please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but isn't more so the issue here that Americans, a lot of us live above our means, and like, you know, a lot of this kind of, I don't know, tiny home and these kind of things is more about the fact that you have more money and time to, let's say, live an experiential life than, let's say, collecting, I don't know, for lack of a better term, material things that you may not ever use or need.
I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more about that you have to give yourself more of a buffer time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, think about this personal experience, right? I live in an apartment right now. I will never own this apartment. I am just feeding this guy's bank account. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm doing. But with where I'm going to move next, I'm actually working towards something where I'm going to eventually own. And then off of that, I'll be able, once I own it, I can rent it out and then make passive income. Passive income should be the goal of every American.
Facts. But wouldn't you say that that's what I'm basically saying is that's almost impossible in our time unless you live somewhat of a minimalistic way. I mean, whether it's like what you're saying or, you know, other ways, there's because some of these things which they try to sell us, the big house, the 50 sports cars, you know, in a way, some of that can be considered a trap. And I'm just noticing that a lot of people, including myself, are moving more towards this, you know, let's say tiny home or trailers or whatever you want to call them, containers. Maybe that's just the way things are going because people are realizing that the cost of living is so crazy.
I mean, the question you gotta ask yourself is, is any of that shit needed? Like, I'm not saying that you should. I would say that most people are unwilling, especially during the time when it would be most beneficial for them to just put their nose to the gridiron and work, and put stuff together, as opposed to, because like, I mean, I'm 40, and so like I started getting my stuff together at 25, but it was like a slow pedally type of way, and then I ramped up at 35. Because like the stuff that I was doing at 25, I started seeing some results. But now looking back, I'm like, I didn't need to be at the club. I'd say 40% of the time that I was at the club spending money, I didn't need to be there spending money. Like there was plenty of other shit I could have been doing that would have been more productive. But I wanted to be in the club.
And that's what I think guys are realizing, like in their 20s, like, yo, this is a time to grind. And, you know, I can live this life maybe in my 30s and 40s, but like in my 20s, I should be grinding and building up.
Well, I mean, you can look at it this way. If you take a really focused 5-10 year window and put your nose to the grind and grind it out and build yourself up, for instance, I'm not even going to tell people to go buy crypto. You could build up a dividend paying portfolio and probably be damn close if you're making decent money and you just scale back to the minimum of what you need to spend and then just dump everything into the portfolio. And then you're
minimalism.
You could double your income on the other side of that and then be able to make some even bigger moves after that chunk of time.
And that's basically by erasing all those unneeded things that we are sold in our 20s, like that we are, I don't know if sold is the right word, but we're made to believe that we need, you know, when a lot of times, like Bumpkin said, most of the time we're helping somebody else's dream come to fruition instead of working on our own.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm 100% in agreement with that as well. Like, I just think we do stuff out of order. Like, if you want to be able to do all the nice stuff and you want 5 sports cars, figure out a way to pay for 5 sports cars that doesn't require you to physically go somewhere. It's the issue is the stuff is going to always be the stuff because people like to have nice things and like that's the way you show that you're winning. The problem is people who aren't winning are getting it to posture that they're winning, and then like on the back end they're like, oh shit, like the world comes to an end if I hurt myself and can't go to work. Oh no, I've got to listen to what this boss says that I can't stand because I can't fucking leave because I'm stuck here because I can't go do shit else. Like,
or like
I have no options.
Business around it.
Right. Like I have no options. Like I can't survive for 6 months to go try to do something else.
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ray. You made me think when you said the cars. I know somebody who he was into cars, and he started. You know how they have this Turo?
Yeah.
He started like a rental business, but using Turo, and he got himself some sports cars, and then he made that money back by renting them out. He got like one of these. I don't know what they're called. Those things that look like dune buggies, but they're on the street. And then I think he got.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he did that, and then he did some other sports car, and he basically flipped those on the rental, and I think he had a Tesla too, and now he's basically like into the car collecting thing, but he started by doing that.
Yeah, put him to work. That's 100%.
Yeah, he put him to work.
You should be trying to have everything that you own working. Like, otherwise you got to really substantiate, like, do I fucking need this? Like, in my opinion, like,
and that's a tough one for me because I really like guns. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Random.
Nice. Is that considered an expensive hobby? Because when I look at some of these YouTubes, and maybe it's dependent on the state, but it seems like guns aren't that expensive. But does it add up, or I've heard only the opposite? Is that an expensive hobby?
It adds up.
Super expensive.
Guns are super expensive. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's expensive about it? The ammo? Because I know when you go to the shooting range, the ammo is mad expensive.
It's all expensive. The ammo. Well, first of all, don't buy your ammo from ranges.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do not buy your ammo from ranges because they're gonna fucking stockpile those up because they don't expect you to buy your mass amount of ammo from ranges. I got some websites where I buy ammo from, but secondly, just the cost of guns, right? So to get an AR-15, and I'm in a state that's very cheap. I found a way where I can go to a gun show and I can just walk off with a gun. But
what?
Yeah, my state. Yeah, I'll tell you how I did it, right? So I walked into a gun show, right? And I don't know if you know anything about AR-15s, but AR-15s are like the Legos of guns, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all you need for an AR-15 is a fully built lower receiver and a fully built upper receiver. And you literally pull 2 pins, you click them together, put the pins in, and you got a fully functional firearm. So I walked into a gun show and I'm like, I like that lower receiver. I got it for $230. $230. I like the upper receiver. I got it for $400. I put it together on the gun show floor. Boom, walked out with a fully operational AR-15 for like $700.
Is that considered expensive, or that's considered cheap for that
That's
firearm?
considered cheap. That's considered cheap.
Okay.
Because if you would have bought, a full functional AR, depending on the brand, if you want to, because when you're talking about guns, you don't want to get a cheap brand.
Facts. Right. You want a well-known, reputable brand.
Yeah, you want it to be reliable. AR can go from 1,000 to fucking 6K.
So that's same with anything then. That's basically saying if you do the legwork yourself, it's going to be cheaper. That's same with those guys who build their own what they call kit cars, right? Instead of buying the Porsche, they'll be like, "Yo, I'm going to make the Porsche from scratch."
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, the people that do that like legitimately like working on cars. Like that's not at that point they're going, cool, I'm going to build this thing, but like they also enjoy that whole process. It's not like that's work for them. They're going, this is
right. But it's significantly cheaper when you rate those kit cars versus if you buy the actual vintage car straight up.
That's true, but it's like, but you also have to keep in mind though, you don't get to go hang out with the dudes that have the real cars at that point, because they're gonna be like, "Fuck is this?" Like that's like trying to roll up to the Phantom meetup with a Chrysler 300, bro. Like you can't hang out with them.
Yeah, like for instance, I like working on guns. I figured that out, right? My grandfather, he liked working on cars. I like working on guns. I like working on things that go boom boom. I like to see shit explode. I like to see half of a tree fucking explode from 300 yards out and be like, wow, I put the components into that gun that made that shit happen.
Yeah.
I like doing that. That's why I really like this new place too, because I can have like an entire room dedicated to like my computer streaming, and on the other side, I can have my gun desk with my Glock blocks, with my with my Dremels if I want to fucking engrave anything on my guns or.
Oh, nice. So do you get Bumpkin? Like, what's your version of like monetizing that, like, or getting that money back from something that you enjoy? In this case, firearms.
If you can engrave guns, you can make a lot of money.
Word?
I don't understand why you don't do a channel where you show yourself doing the modifications and have people send you that don't want to do the modifications themselves, send them to you, and then you do them and charge them. Be a gunsmith.
I do that.
Yeah.
Wow. So that still exists. People are actually gunsmiths in today's time.
Yeah. Well, it's less of gunsmith. It's more of like cosmetic stuff, because anyone can go out and buy, a Glock. I got a Glock 17, right, that I conceal carry. It's a black metal upper, and it's a polymer black lower, right? Glock 17, simple as. By the way, the blue one didn't work out because it decided that it didn't want to shoot properly. Fun fact, right?
Did it blow up?
It didn't blow up, but it wouldn't feed the bullets properly, and it kept jamming on me, so I had to get a new lower.
Why? Because it was blue?
No,
it was like a different company made it and it didn't fit in.
Yeah, let's go with it. It was a different company that made it. Let's go with that one. Let's go with that one. We're on YouTube. It was a different company that made it. But it actually
a totally different company.
Fucking totally different company.
I got you.
But it actually had the NF logo engraved on it. That's what it had on the handle. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm actually going to engrave a cross on it, and then I'm going to paint white within the cross.
Oh,
nice. No, I've seen that.
Let me get a couple of comments in here. Chat lives matters. Spaces said, I think dividends are a very big risk if you're not strategic and disciplined. I mean, it can be, especially if you're chasing stuff that, because any stocks can be a really big risk if you're not strategic and disciplined, technically speaking. Like there's penny stocks and like there's
Within dividends, there's also the equivalent of that. We'll put it that way. And I can agree with that. Joker said he is currently in school for gunsmithing. How about that?
Dude, it's interesting. It's interesting. And it's like, I like to pick professions or I like to specifically pick hobbies that I know if everything fucking falls to shit, I'm actually going to be able to use, right?
Yeah.
You know, underwater basket weaving is not a hobby that I'm going to use if people are shooting at each other.
Wait a second. Hold on. But what if we're all hiding underwater and we need baskets?
Hey. He's going to be a millionaire then. He's going to be the new Rockefeller.
Jeff Bezos of fucking underwater world.
Bro. Be like, what happened? The basket weavers here the first shot and they said, this is our time. Retreat to the ocean bodies of water, brothers.
But Bunkin, that's crazy you mentioned that because I've seen those kind of like cool guns, you know, anime on them, or they're gold or, you know, pink, or ones that look like Nintendo guns and stuff like that. Like, so people have to pay a pretty high ticket to get those, right? That's kind of like you pay more for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, you pay a pretty penny to have nice engravings on your weapons for sure. Like, you know, if you want to, what's the pattern called? Fuck, I forget what it's called. It's like where you temper the metal in a certain way where it makes it like blue and green, and you know what I'm talking about, right, Ray? Yeah. If you want to do that to your fucking like 1911, it's gonna cost you like $1,100.
What? Just for that? That's
Yeah,
iridium, right? Or is that what you're talking about?
Because you gotta take the metal off the gun, and then you gotta dip it.
Yeah.
And then you got to make sure that what you're dipping it in isn't gonna gunk up the gun, isn't gonna fucking cause it to rust faster or anything like that. It's just, and it's pure cosmetic stuff. So it's like you don't need this to look like this for it to function,
Right.
but you want it to look like this because you think it looks cool. So you're gonna pay extra for it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's like a car too. It's the same.
It's like a car, exactly.
Yeah.
You don't need massive fenders on a car for it to fucking work.
Dude, it's plus 5 horsepower a fender, dude.
It's more aerodynamic, bro.
Right.
So in this kind of thing, like we're talking about, how would you get your like? What's a practical way of monetizing that, like where you would get your money back for the ammo? Let's say you spent, I don't know, $500 a week at the target range, and then you're like, I want to get this money back. Like, how do you do that with that hobby?
Oh, you can repack ammo.
What? Okay, wow.
Yeah, you can have an entire machine in your house where you can completely repack ammo. You do the proper gunpowder, you do the proper primer, you do the proper, obviously, the actual bullet in the actual ammunition, and then you pack it down. And you can also buy an automatic one that does it for you, which is fucking a pretty penny, but.
What? Yo, so that's real, like in The Walking Dead when they're making their own ammo, they're collecting the shells. Damn, that's cool.
A lot of shit's real, man. A lot of shit with the survival stuff. You can make your own bullets, absolutely. It's just you have to know what you're doing. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Because if you pack it wrong and you put too much gunpowder in there, then you got a hot shot, which could blow the cartridge out in your ammo while you're trying to fire it.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
You never want a cartridge lodged in your barrel, by the way.
Of course not. No. This makes sense, and now it makes sense why you pay so much for a skilled technician to do all this, because your life is in the hands of that person.
It is. It's like with guns, it's like this, right? If all this shit falls down tomorrow, right? Will a currency eventually be created? Probably, right? But until then, guess what the currency is going to be?
Bullets, whiskey.
Bullets
and
right?
fucking whiskey, all right? Bullets and whiskey. And I can already make moonshine.
And probably cannabis, too. That's a cash crop.
True.
Also true. And tobacco.
Tobacco, yeah, all that. Those are all the apocalypse skills. You know, gold, silver, all that stuff. That's kind of like, I don't like to hate on the crypto people because I do think it has value. But like, if the electricity goes out, you know what I'm saying? Crypto is kind of like not. It's kind of like,
Well, I mean,
you know
you're
what I'm
talking
saying?
about crypto on the globe. Now we're all back to hunter and gathering, and you're going to have other like that. The issue is if we're ever in a state where crypto is no longer functional, we have a whole nother set of problems. Ain't nobody going to be worried about who has what at that point because we're all
Exactly.
at that point. We all out in the streets. We trying to figure out how to get carrier pigeons over to Bumpkin so we can all link up and take this shit over.
Yeah, I'm getting a carrier pigeon.
Fuck that, bro. I'm coming to you. Believe me. I'm taking a massive road trip and gathering up as many people as I fucking can.
Right,
a caravan.
right.
A caravan going to raid.
I'm like, we're gonna be trying to find somebody to turn the power back on. Like, what's going? Just be like, you better know how to do something important, or you got to go.
Hey, listen, they was talking about that. It could still happen. You know, there was a huge solar flare this AM, and they were saying if it gets worse, you know, the power, it could make power outages. So, I mean, it's definitely possible. We just don't think about it.
The solar flare situation is terrifying. Because a solar flare acts like a giant EMP.
Yup.
One fucking bad solar flare, it could send us back to the fucking Stone Age, except we just have guns. That's what we have.
Yeah,
Dude,
basically. And it's happened before. My bad, right?
Oh, no. I was going to say, I was like, guns and compound bows. Because me personally, dude, like, I'm getting ready to order a compound bow. As soon as I heal up, I'm learning how to shoot arrows. Because guns are loud.
Oh, yo,
compound bow, next thing you know, you just touched up, and it's a surprise.
Yo, is the compound bow same as a crossbow, Ray?
No, it's a up. Like, you're not. It's not a crossbow. Could be useful too, but like compound bows, like actually anything that shoots a silent piece of wood, bro.
That's crazy. So the compound bow is the bow that's normal, but it's got like it's like reinforced.
It's got like a thing. So like you have
I use those,
but it shoots hard.
Yeah, I use those in camp. Those things are hard to shoot.
Yeah, that's gonna be my next new hobby is like I'm learning how to do
why compound bows are really terrifying, honestly? Because I've seen compound bows with like polymer bows, like actual arrows that can shoot through steel doors.
What? No way.
Yeah, they're
you gotta have muscles of steel.
No,
does the compound bow do that? Or your arm does that?
Well, the compound bow amplifies the draw. That's what makes them special. Is like it makes it so that you don't have to have muscles to steel, and you can still shoot something like it.
I know what you're talking about, and they have those little like circles at the top, like I don't know, rivets. I don't know what the hell it's called, but yeah, I've used that before. But it's still hard, bro. It's not as easy as it looks, bro. Bow hunting is definitely an art form.
And people will put because up here you can there's wild turkeys.
Bow hunting an animal is probably really hard, but bow hunting a human probably not that hard. We're fucking stupid and oblivious.
I'm talking about animals, bro. I'm talking about hunting a deer, man.
No, I'm learning how to bow hunt for when the lights go out. I'm sending surprises, bro. I'm sending full ass surprises.
I'll be real big, man. If there was an apocalypse, I was breaking into a house and I saw a fucking arrow ring past my head and hit the door next to me and stick into the fucking door, I'm leaving the house. I'm fucking out of there because I am not.
Need a license?
You don't need a license for a bow.
No.
You don't need a license for a bow.
No. And the ranges are super cheap and are free. Like
what?
It's yeah, because ammo's expensive. So my buddy who just moved back up here, my battle buddies moved back up, he was like, "Yo, we're gonna just start shooting bows." He was like, "There's a bunch of places we can go shoot for free, or it's like $20 for the year." And I'm like,
"What?"
Like, yeah, because you just all you have to do is
Ray. How much? Like, what's the entry level for like a good compound bow? That it's like
$250. I mean, you can learn on a $250 bow. Like it's
$250. That's it. Oh, that's definitely cheaper than guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're like my other buddy's already got his because like they've already started going, but like I'm getting mine for like once I heal up and can stand up, once I can get back on my feet, because like that doesn't require, it's not high stress on your legs.
The reason why I like guns is because the engagement range is farther away. So for instance, I got an ACOG on my AR, right?
Right.
That is a 4x32 whatever scope. So I'm seeing someone from 300 yards out before they're even seeing my ass.
Right. Right.
You can't do that with a bow?
No. Not reliably. Like,
not reliable.
Maybe if you're
what's
in the
most you can shoot with a bow? Like 100 yards, or even that's a lot for a bow?
I don't know I haven't been out to the range, so I don't know what the targets that they're shooting at right now. It's like, I think it's like 25, 50 yards, something like that.
Oh, so you kind of need to be in relatively close distance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're just chilling, dude, 50 yards is far to get a surprise, bro.
Most people will not shoot a pistol above 50 yards.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's not far. That's not far. That's the end of the block. That's nothing. That's some people running up on you. That's not far.
If you got a block to figure it out, bro, that is far, bro. Like, I mean,
but you gotta take into consideration. No, it's not, because a block, the other people too are thinking, and they're getting ready to get.
100%. But I'm saying, if you're further than a block out, you getting sniped at this point, like you just dead anyway. Like you now you are not looking, like you're not paying attention at this point. No one's looking, going, hey, 300 yards that way. Is somebody trying to fuck with me? Like, no, like 100 yards, you're not really looking. Like you can run if I have a block and there's a block distance between me and you, I can get the drop on you in a block if I got a block to figure it out. Like if you're not looking and you a block ahead of me, you don't know I'm behind you, and I've got a handgun and I'm that good of and I'm shooting at that range, you are also still dead. Like it's not like you're gonna just be like, I'm looking. How often do you look down the block to see if somebody's trying to fuck with you? Never.
No, but in that situation, you would. We're talking about an apocalypse situation. You know, EMP or something. Everybody would be more vigilant.
We wouldn't, boy. No, normal people don't look up, bro. Like people don't look at the sky, dude. Yes. Most people just like navigate throughout their lives, and so like you're saying somebody that's not trained to look for actual threats. In a threat situation, they're not going to be they're going to be looking at what's immediately threatening them. They're going to go out and be like, I got to get to the end of the driveway real quick to see if I can grab this trash can or whatever. There's some food scraps, and they're going to be looking down, paying attention. You a block away, pop, you gone. Like,
yeah, no, that's a good point. I mean, supposedly, like they said that I was reading some statistic about this, that within the first day or the first couple of days, the majority of people will be dead because they would be like chickens without a head.
Yeah, they just don't know how to do shit. Like, and it's not only that. It's like they don't know how to do shit, and then, well, I mean, I guess the gist of it is they just don't know how to do shit. But yeah, people don't know how to do shit. That's the problem, is that they don't, and it's not necessary. And in most cases, if you're lucky, you never have to worry about not knowing how to do shit. The issue is, if you do, and like that's the reason I like Bumpkin's ideology about, he goes, I have fucking, my hobbies are skills that are useful outside of like just being a hobby.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Every man should have some apocalypse skills.
Right. Like if your hobby is I play Madden, it's like, cool, the power goes out, you are fucking worthless, bro. Like, what else do you do? Like, but yeah, no,
well, that's why. What? Sorry.
No, I was gonna let you rock, dog. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think that's part of the reason that they've made like video games more popular than actual doing the outdoor stuff that like maybe back in the day was more so than video games. I don't know, like let's say Boy Scouts or hunting, or now everything's like do it on a computer. I think they do that on purpose because they don't want people learning these things in real life.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. They don't. Well, I mean, the issue is they want effeminate, weak men. So you don't want people going outside. Period.
Like that's just not the play if you're trying to make something that's controllable. You want whatever it is to be docile, and if you're sitting down playing war, you're not actually partaking in the things that you would need to participate in war. Like that's what they want. And like that's the reason I always tell people, like I don't know if you got the gist of it, but like I ruptured my Achilles, so like I'm hemmed up right now. And that's the reason it's like the financial literacy piece of it is important, like because if your body relies on you physically doing something and then you can't physically do whatever that thing is, it's going to become problematic real quick.
Oh yeah,
especially if there's a long timeline on the recovery, and it's like people don't plan ahead. And like part of the reason that I share the shit that I'm doing is like everything that I was doing was preparing for something like this, so that way I can sit down calmly and go, okay, what do I want to do? How am I going to navigate forward? I'm not losing shit that's important.
See, this is my shit kicker right here. This is my shit kicker right here.
That is awesome.
Hey.
Dude, get it Iron
That's
Man
cool.
decal. Paint it like Iron Man. Red and gold.
Nah, paint it like the Punisher, bro. Get a skull on there.
Punisher's was just black, dude. He didn't have anything special on his gun. He just got to get a new shirt if he wants to be the Punisher.
Yo, so that's so cool, though. You're in the state. You could just collect as many of those as possible. Man, you guys are lucky wherever you are.
Oh dude, is that the holographic site?
Yep.
That's freaking
nice.
awesome.
Now I might do something ugly, and a lot of gun people are gonna hate me for doing this. But my ACOG I got has a way to mount a red dot on top of the ACOG. I might do it.
Dork. He said he's gonna have like a Christmas tree ACOG, bro. Oh shit.
Because the other option is side mounting the hollow. I don't know if I want to do that or not.
Yo, so can you take that out to the range, or you can only use that like on your property?
I can take it out to the range, yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
It's so different in the state where I'm at, bro. It's like they're so strict with that stuff. It's like crazy.
Dude, and the funny thing is, like, people still have all the guns that aren't supposed to. That's the crazy part for me. I'm like,
yeah, especially where I'm at. Like, bro, where I'm at, everybody has one, and it's like, yo, it's so crazy because it's like it makes it almost worse.
You guys also got illegal storming the beaches and shit right now. y'all need guns.
Yo, we got a whole different craziness. Yeah, man, it's like. Can't win for losing in the state I'm at, man.
Bro, and they fine about it too, just straight up acting like nothing's wrong. Like that's also crazy too. I'm just like, how are you gonna sit there and just be like, yo, this is hell, and be like, it's not that bad.
You know what I think it is, man. Honestly, I think, and I've done some analyzation about this. I honestly think it's just that like the good-heartedness of people gets used against them, like, you know what I'm saying? That's like I think that a lot of liberals have like a good-hearted intention, and they really believe the love and peace and all that, and they just don't realize that there's people out there with evil intentions. Well, I think really that's what it comes down to.
I can respect that. It's just when you become a zealot about it. It's like, okay, I get it. People want to help everybody. I get it. I want to help people too. But like when you get to the conversation of at what cost, and they're just like, all of us, and I'm like, no, like, no, bro, like, we're gonna stop you. We're gonna back this conversation up right from where you just said, because all of us, you mean me too? I don't want to be a part of that. Like, I would prefer to not it be at the expense of all of us. Like, I like to help people who we can help effectively, and then, the people that we can't, we can be sad about it, and that sucks. But like, it's not our responsibility to save the planet. It's our responsibility to fix the shit that's immediately in front of us, and then start working our way out. And we're doing the exact opposite. We want to fix everything out there, and it's like, hey, come into my house. It's falling apart, but y'all can come in here because we got like some semblance of a roof left. Like,
There's like, no, like that's not how this shit works. Like you should probably stabilize your house, make sure you got a roof, make sure you got enough space. Is there water for the guests? Like, I don't know. Like you got some snacks? Like, is there snacks for everybody? Like if you're gonna bring these people in, like be able to bring them in and not be like, hey, welcome to Thunderdome. It's a little bit better than the Thunderdome that you left. Congratulations.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy too? That's under the how do you say the premise that the people that you're helping are quote unquote good people. What makes this even worse is that these people that are so-called being helped are not good people. They're people that you shouldn't help. That's what's crazy about this whole thing.
He said, these ain't the ones right here. These ones? These ain't them.
They're not these good-hearted, loving people that are going to help you back, especially you see these protesters with the whole, the Palestine thing. It's like, these people, would cut your head off in an instant, they found out you were LGBTQ or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't get it. It's like these people don't even like you, and you're fighting for them, and they literally will kill you. Like, where's the sense of that?
I don't. When it comes to that stuff, I have a very staunch, not popular view for both sides of that here. I don't think that any flag comes before the American flag. I don't think that you should be protesting anything for any other country within these borders, especially to the tune that you think you're going to take down the flag of the country that you're actively protesting safely in.
That's crazy, or mess up these monuments
from these countries that can't figure their shit out. Like my opinion on it is, I hope both sides win expeditiously. Like,
I agree with you.
If that whole thing
wholeheartedly, I just use that as an example because that's an example of another group that clearly doesn't even care about you, and people are caping for them.
It's two groups. There's two groups of people fighting. One group is actively on the BLM MO, but the other group is telling anybody who questions anything that they're doing over there, they're branding them as anti-Semitic and silencing them as effectively as they possibly can.
It's both stupid. We should be focused on
I'm like, all of you need to book a flight and go actually have this fight over there where it belongs, because both sides are not for this country. And like, perfect example is the way that the Daily Wire is imploding. They're not about free speech. Anybody who thinks so is a lie. And all that grace that they forced us to give old Ben Shapiro over all the disparaging things that he said about black people, as soon as somebody said something about something that his people are doing that's actually fucked up, he turned into a quick ass bitch and wants to silence and sue everybody to protect his team. But he can say whatever the fuck he wants about every other fucking people group. Like, if we're anti-Semitic, then you are racist, sir. Let's call it what it is. Like you don't get to have it both ways when it's something that triggers you.
I just don't understand that whole concept, and I'm not even, I wasn't technically born here myself, but the truth of the situation is, if you're going to be an American citizen, you got to stand up for this country and this country first. And because that's at the end of the day what makes this country. So, it's like I'll wave an American flag any day over, let's say, in this example, a Dominican flag. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's America that has offered me, this beautiful life.
1 second.
Not the Dominican Republic, right? So it's like you got to be loyal to basically what's loyal to you. And if you're shining somebody else's flag, it's like, why don't you go live over there? I tell the Hotep people the same thing. It's like, if you love Africa so much, go to Africa. Go to Africa.
Right. Like, why the fuck are you here? Like,
I got a stream I gotta do. We finally launched another YouTube channel.
They took your channel down? Is that what happened?
Yeah, no, our channel was completely yeeted off of YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That's crazy. What's your channel, Bumpkin?
Right now it's called Frontier Media.
Oh, I like that. That sounds good. It sounds professional. Are you guys going to behave yourself now?
We're gonna have to, yeah.
No, but I wasn't planning on staying on. I wasn't planning on staying on. Okay, cool. I just resubscribed. I wasn't gonna stay on that long. I mean, this was longer than what I was planning on staying on. I'm getting ready to jump off. I just wanted to do the update live because I've got a bunch of backlog videos to record now. But I was like, I'll do the update live because I didn't do my live stream this week. I've been missing those because I was on the couch, and since I was up here, I was like, oh, I'll jump on and see what's up, see what this is about.
But one thing I gotta say before I head out, one thing I gotta say, right, is look at who you can't criticize. Because right now the GOP is trying to impeach Joe Biden over not anything else but claiming that he's gonna cut aid off of Israel. I'm not even joking. What? You can't even make this shit up. So he can. He can tank our economy. He can put in, 300, like fucking 300 executive orders that are like 80 of them are unconstitutional. But as soon as he threatens to cut off aid to Israel, the GOP is going to try to impeach him. Are you fucking kidding me? That's the cutoff point, guys. Are we being for real right now?
We got to vote all of them out. We've got to vote all of everyone out. They've all got to go. They all have to go. Oh God. Oh my God. That is terrible. That's so bad. On this episode of Both Sides Suck. Like, you can't make this shit up. Oh,
you can't.
Bumpkin, is your Frontier Media? You got the seal with 7 stars?
Yeah. Here, I'll drop. I'm gonna drop the link for you, Moy. So I got to pull up. Copy. Making copies.
I'll be real with you, man. I don't even know what the fucking topics are tonight. So I'm just rolling with it today. I just worked like a 12-hour shift. I woke up at 5, bro. I'm out of coffee. I'm going through it rough right now.
Oh, Jesus. He's like, I got caffeinated body rub. I'm just eating it.
I'm waiting for some fucking checks to show up from an IRA that I had no access to anymore. So I just cashed that bitch out from a different state.
Hey, there you go.
I'm like, why? I'm like, oh, so I can't like transfer this over to another IRA? Why would I keep the money like in that account?
They wouldn't let you transfer it to another IRA.
It was so fucking weird. Or it was like there would be a ridiculous cost or something like that to transfer it or something like that. I don't fucking know.
That's stupid. That's so fucking dumb. But yeah, all right.
Well, I'm just like, okay, well, I'll take my $5,000 then, and I'm gonna roll out.
Oh, like she was like, give me my money, I'm out of here. Well, I'm gonna I'll probably roll in and listen. So I'm gonna move back down to the couch because I've been sitting up for a long time and now my back hurts. So
all right, brothers, take it easy.
All right, later. Moy, you got any final thoughts for you,
gentlemen?
Brother?
No, that's it. I caught the last end of it. I appreciate you guys, and I'm definitely gonna. For some reason, I haven't been getting your notifications when you go live. So I'm
for the last 2 weeks, I've been trapped on the couch because my legs fucked up. So I just now got back up. So like I couldn't do any of my recorded videos because like I disabled myself on a weekend, and then I just had surgery 2 weeks ago.
Oh man!
So yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you're well.
It's
so
cool.
you fucked up your Achilles? Basically?
Oh yeah, I snapped it. Yeah.
That's a painful one.
2 pieces. Luckily, it didn't shoot all the way up my leg, but it definitely separated itself at the ankle, and had to get it stitched back together and get me stitched back together. And I got staples in my ankle now.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it is a whole deal. Like so I knew the surgeon, so like I have the picture of like when he got me open. So like I have a picture of the back of my ankle flayed open, like you can like look into it.
What? That's crazy.
It's awesome. I was gonna print it out and put it on the fridge so that no one eats ever again.
What happened? Did you shoot yourself with a crossbow?
No, I was dancing and put too much stress on it, and this is where we're at.
Oh, good. At least you were doing something fun, and it sounds like you were having a good time.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be one of those.
Freak
It'd
accidents.
be one of the. Well, no, it'd be one of those things like, you know, the serial killer ones where it's like everything was fine until it wasn't. Like it was literally like that. like I'm having the best night ever. Snap! I was like, I gotta go home. Like I gotta go.
Wow. Damn, that's crazy, man. But that proves it. Anything can happen anytime. That's why you got to be on point.
To anybody, man, challenges are distributed equally amongst us all, whether we know about them or not. That's my belief on this. Like everybody gets their fair share of shit to deal with at some point. It's coming. So you got to take it in stride and not be a bitch.
Hey, you hit the nail on the head with that one, man. Definitely, man. Have a good one and appreciate you. And when you going live again? Oh,
so
sorry.
we should be back on schedule. So Thursday, I'm planning to be back up in here. I might do it a little bit earlier in the afternoon though, because like I don't like my sleep schedule's fucked. So I'm trying to get myself back on a normal sleep schedule. So I have to physically be doing something to stay awake, or I just go to sleep if I'm sitting down there on the fucking couch. So I might start it earlier in the day and then like let it run a little bit longer or something, or like get it to do it until around the time that I'm supposed to be going to sleep, and I'll do that. But I'm going to be back on. Yeah. And I mean, depending on how the beginning of this week goes, I might do some more live streams just to cover up that time, because like if I'm sitting up here talking to people, I'm not tired. But like as soon as I get downstairs, I guarantee you I'm going to sit down there. I'm going to get my little snack in, and I'm going to probably be at random out, and then I will be up stupid early in the morning, and then I'm going to I'll fall asleep at some point in the middle of the fucking day, and then the cycle has been that. But it's one of the medications that I have. Insomnia is one of the side effects, and I definitely have been having it. So I'm stopping taking it. I stopped taking it today. So now that we've narrowed it down to what it is that's fucking me up, we're gonna see if that helps. And yeah, it's what it is, man. It's an adventure.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yep, it's an adventure. Well, have a good one, Ray, and I'll definitely catch your stream on Thursday, man. I've been learning a lot from your crypto streams, because I've been trying to get more outside my comfort zone and learn about that, not just the gold and silver. So everybody's telling me about Solange and these new, I don't know, altcoins.
I mean, you can stick with the easy ones, man. I mean, if you're feeling any type of way, stick with what's easy. The boring stuff is going to win too.
Yeah, that's what you've been saying, and a couple other people have been saying. So I've been doing that, and just it's been going well. It's been a conservative approach, but it's been going well, and it gives me more faith in that whole crypto world.
That's awesome. Good. I love to hear that. All right. I'm getting ready to get out of here. Before we do, we gotta give appreciation to everybody who stopped in through the chat. Obviously, More Freestyle came up and rocked out with us. Michael, aka Bumpkin over from New Frontier, came up and rocked out with us. I appreciate you. None of your ghetto business at all. Stop through. Spaces in the house. Definitely, if you guys aren't up to date, you guys got to tap in with Spaces on Sundays. He has a really good Sunday show that he does with a couple of his homies. Very entertaining. Own a Spot Live tapped in with us today. Very, very good. Like if you want to be caught up with the latest news, tapped in with a little bit of finance, definitely tap in with Own a Spot. Travel One was in the building today. Definitely appreciate Travel One stopping through. She stay on my neck, but I appreciate it. And Ricky Williams was here early. Appreciate that. World Class and Dr. Quantum was in the house. Before I get out of here, it's always be important. Take care of yourself. It's important to take care of yourself. Injuries are going to happen, but they are few and far between. This is my first, what I would consider a major injury. It was definitely my first surgery. And, made it 4 whole decades before we got to this point. And realistically, if you're like me and partially blue collar, take note of how much stress you're putting on your body, because this is a result of overexertion. I understand everybody's like, oh, you're getting old. And I'm like, well, I mean, being on your feet 7 days a week for 70 hours or more also could play a factor. It's just people just really aren't on their feet like that. And age could be a contributing factor for why the injury happened, but I wasn't moderating my activity level because my activity level is so high and my basis is so high that I wasn't taking into consideration the damage that it was doing to the other parts of my body training the way that I do. So, obviously we're going to have to make some adjustments in both directions. But we're coming back stronger. I'm excited about it. You guys have a good one. Thanks for tapping in with me. Till the next time, it's your boy RecklessRayDinero. We're out. Peace.